Today we will be talking about two summer teas, a shawl, a baby gift, maybe a little bit of the upcoming Tour de Fleece. So if this sounds like just your cup of something, grab something to keep your whistle wet, grab something to keep those magic hands busy, and let's get started. So good morning, Fiber Friends. My name is Dorothy, and I am coming to you from Columbia, Maryland. This is my little corner of the YouTube where I like to share and document my fibery adventures with you all. That could be knitting, crocheting, weaving, yarn dyeing, spinning, or any other crafty rabbit hole I go down. If you would like to find me out on the interwebs, I will just have a post here of where you could find me. If you itchy nose. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I so appreciate you spending a little time with me. And if you are a new viewer that has just found me, welcome to the crazy. Come on in, have fun with us. Today I have some knitting, one crochet item, a couple of spinning items to share with you. So let me just catch you up with what's been going on, and then we'll get into all the crafty bits. So the last few weeks have been the closing out of the school year. It's been a little hectic. I had something in my eye. Oh, I hate when that happens. It feels like a little eyelash. Okay, so the end of the school year, I had two of my closest and best coworkers retire this year. One was the security guard that was an outstanding security guard for our school, and the other was my assistant. Sadly, I don't know what I'm going to do next year without them. It was a very, very sad goodbye for me. Due to our county's budget being severely cut, I was not able to interview for my media assistant's position. We got a placement. I don't know what to make of it. This is what I hear from the media specialist that she works with. So we will see what happens. I have been just sort of letting the day pass. Friday was my first official day off. I did absolutely nothing. I gave my spicy brain a rest. I didn't make plans for anything specific, and I got some cleaning done in my house. Saturday, I went to Fabioli Winery, which is in Leesburg, Virginia, where they had a nice little yarn and wine celebration. So me, my girlfriend Melissa, and Kit went out and had a fabulous afternoon of trying out various wines, taking a look at some yarn and fiber while we were there, and just had a general relaxing, chit-chatting kind of day. I bought nothing, so that was good. Then Sunday was another relaxing day for me. I didn't make any special plans to do anything, and I wound up doing a little bit of house cleaning here and there, trying to get things organized and ready for the summer. And now we come to today. Today is Tuesday, June 22nd. It is a ugly day outside right now. It is pouring rain, and I guess that is really what I have been up to the last couple of weeks in a nutshell. Closing out the school year and getting ready to start my summer. I am looking forward to Tour de Fleece, which is coming up on July 4th, and I will talk a little bit more later on and my plans for that. Well, not exactly my plans for it, but when we get there, we'll get there. So I have no finished objects for you guys today. I know I had those two cowls that all I needed to do was block and sew up for you to share with you guys. But like I said, closing out the end of the school year can be a bit hectic. And with all the craziness of our county cutting, losing part of its budgeting, not being fully funded, and positions being cut, it was a bit hectic, and I just needed to keep my hands busy to keep my mind off of thinking of it. But I do want to catch you up to date with what I have been working on. Okay, so first up we have my Tolsta Tee. This is a pattern by Rebecca Clow of the Cray. She has her own podcast as well. I believe the pattern was not, let me see, $9. Yes, it's 7 British pounds, but it's $9.68 in US dollars. I knit this out of my yarn, Knit Not Weave yarn, in my wool DK blend. It is a 50-50 blend, and I absolutely love how this is turning out. I love the drape that this yarn is giving me. It is super soft, even though it's a 50-50 blend. The wool must give a bit of flexibility to the cotton because my hands do not fatigue when I'm working on this. I believe the last time I shared it with you guys, I had just split for the sleeves. So I managed to get all of this completed in the last, 2.5 weeks. One modification that I made is I made a split hem. And so the front is completely finished. And instead of doing a regular bind off, since it was a one by one ribbing already, I went ahead and did the Italian sewn bind off because I like a nice clean edge. And I am in the middle of the ribbing on the back when I ran out of yarn. So far I have used 2 skeins of yarn in this. I'm making a size 5 for myself. I have my 3rd skein caked up and ready to go. All I need to do is finish the back of the split hem and then pick up and knit the sleeves. I will put a little insert of it in here of me trying it on. This was before I had started the hem. It hit me just at like my waist, so I wanted it just a little bit longer. So from that video to now, I added about 2 inches, and then I started to do the hem, which is only 10 rounds of 1 by 1 ribbing. So I'm very pleased with how this is coming out. I'm looking forward to having it finished by the next time I podcast. And what else can I tell you? I'm really, really enjoying working with this yarn. I'm hoping that it wears just as well. The sleeves are just going to be probably to my elbows, just to, cover up this little bat wing here. But I'm super pleased with this one so far. I'm looking forward to having it finished off my needles, blocked, and hopefully wearing it on my next episode. I am using my 3.75 millimeter Chow Goose, which is a US 5. I have these lovely, lovely needlepoint protectors, perfect for everything going on right now. And so that is project number 1. Tolsta Tee is a very popular pattern on Ravelry. If you have made one and you've made one out of cotton or a linen blend, how do you like it? So let me know in the comments, because I'm thinking this might be another cast on as soon as I'm done with this one. Nothing else I can say about this except for I am definitely probably I will be making another Tolsta Tee. I do want to make one that somebody made one that has like eyelet lacing up at the top, so I definitely want to do one like that. Again, something is in my eye. Next up is a crochet shawl. I believe I shared this last when I did a whip update. So this is the Be Like a Sunflower shawl. It is a paid pattern on Ravelry. I don't remember the designer. The designer is CJ Brady. And the pattern is a $4 pattern on Ravelry. It is a crocheted pattern, and I am using my Boyd crochet hook in a, I think it's I don't know why they put white writing on a yellow. I'm pretty sure this is the 4.0 millimeter size G hook. And I am using Yarn Smith. It is their fingering weight yarn. in this beautiful color called, where's the color? So Inclined, which I bought at the Frederick Fiber Festival, I think 2 Octobers ago. I just thought it was such a pretty fall color, and I think they actually had this pattern in this colorway up in their booth, and I really liked it. So here it is. Where is, so here it is. So you start way down here, you do a couple of setup rows, and then you just follow the pattern. So there are just slight little scallops to this one. And then when you get to a certain point, you start decreasing back down. I am on the decreases now. So this should definitely be finished and blocked next time around. I needed a little something different to keep my hands from cramping up. I have been doing a whole lot of knitting, trying to get objects finished. And I pulled this out because, as we all know, we need to keep our precious hands from cramping up. So that means switching from thin needles to thick needles to crochet to making sure you massage and stretch them. And so I pulled out a crochet item and thought I could get this finished sooner rather than later. And here we have it, lovely little double crochet stitches. And I think this is going to be a perfect gift for someone come fall. Not really my colors, although I liked the colors of the yarn. That doesn't mean they're always perfect colors for my skin tone. But we do what we do, right? The heck does that mean, we do what we do? We knit and create, or crochet and create, things with all different colors that don't necessarily have to be our colors, but we find them pretty and we enjoy them, and then we give them away to someone who is deserving. Okay, not everybody does that, I know. I enjoy knitting with all different colors, even if they're not my colors per se. Next up, I have a sweater that, another tee that I don't think I even had on the needles last time. If I had it on the needles, I may have just had the collar worked up. I'm not even sure. I'm pretty positive that I did not have this on the needles. But this is the Cloudleap Tee by Wool & Pine. Again, I use my own yarn for this. I'm trying to knit up samples for my next show. And this is my DK base in 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And here we have it. This is the front. I absolutely love the drape of this. I love the feel. The colorway is called Vortex. It's a lovely, lovely black with speckles of purple, pink, and a tealy turquoise that comes through. So far, the only modification I made was I added one more repeat of the lace at the bottom. I did the 4 that the pattern required for, and I tried it on. I will insert a video of me trying it on here. I felt it was just a little bit short. I know that superwash yarn will stretch a little bit, but I wanted a little bit more drape on it, so I added one more round of the repeat at the bottom. And then the other modification I did was I did one row of a knit one, purl one at the end, and then did the Italian bind off as well. I kept this in the round. I did not do a split hem on this. The pattern didn't call for a split hem, but I usually like split hems. So really all I have left to do now is to pick up the sleeves. I'm thinking I may make longer sleeves, and I may put 1 or 2 of these wavy eyelet rows at the end. If I haven't said so, I will insert a video of me wearing it here. I'm super pleased with how this knits up. It's a fairly quick knit. It was an interesting construction because you started on the back of the collar and you made increases around the sleeves, and you wound up knitting back and forth to get the curve of the neckline here, which I really liked. And I did, again, when I picked up and did the collar, I did the Italian sewn bind off at the top. I can't remember if that was in the pattern or not. But I went ahead and picked up for the collar and did the collar so that I could try it on and it would sit properly and I could get a better idea of how it was really going to lay on my body. And then, like I said, all I have left to do now is to pick up and knit the sleeves. And hopefully this will be finished by my next podcast as well. I'm putting a lot of hopes on the next 2 weeks since I'm out of school. I'm just really having fun right now. I am relaxing. I am enjoying my knitting and my crafting and trying not to think of the crazy world that we are in right now. And then last whip is, again, something that I have not shared before. I have shared that my niece is pregnant and she will be having her baby mid to late August. And so I decided I would knit her a christening gown for the baby. We do know it's a baby girl. And so I bought the pattern. It's called Angelic Grace Heirloom Christening Gown. I thought it was very cute because the patterning kind of reminded me of little angels. And I am using bamboo pop. And this is knit from the bottom up. And so here's what I have so far. Don't you just see the little angels in here? And then there are little baby angels up here. Unfortunately, I think I need to pull this back all the way down here to before I started these baby angels, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But you can see here, when you look at those angels, that right before the bobblehead that I make, that the stitch before it seems to be elongating. Now, I don't know if it's because of the bamboo that's in this yarn and it's a bit more slippery, if I made the bobbles a little too loosely and therefore that stitch before it is sort of picking up the slack from it. But I don't like the way it's looking. And here, you can see it a little bit better if I stretch it out. You see how these holes are like right next to the angel head, and it seems to be happening everywhere. So I'm going to be pulling it all back down to this section right here, right before all the little baby angels get started. And I'm going to give it one more try. If you have any suggestions of what I could try and do to avoid that little elongated stitch there, by all means, please put it in the comments below, because I really don't know why this is happening. I have at least until the end of August to get this finished, so I have plenty of time. Like I said, the baby is not June. The baby is not due until mid-August, mid to late August. Now, along with the gown, I'm also planning to make a coordinating bonnet. You can see all the same sort of like little angels that go all the way around the bonnet. And then I'm not sure if there's a picture of them in here. Oh, there are. Okay. A picture of the baby booties that go with it. Sorry, I'm covering this up because this is a paid for pattern. And luckily, a very close friend of the family had knit her a baby blanket in white yarn, so I don't have to worry about a christening blanket. But if there is time, I probably will, because the blanket the family friend knit is white, whereas you could see this is more of a creamy ivory color base. But I did enjoy making this so far. You know, the The repeats of the angel at the bottom took some concentration. I definitely had stitch markers between each of the pattern repeats so that I could make sure that I had started and finished in the right place and that the yarn overs were all in the right direction. It was a simple repeat, and once you got the hang of it, it was memorizable, but I would still have it there just in case, because my spicy brain can sometimes forget where it's at and not double think, question whether it's right. And so far I have used about a ball and a half of the bamboo pop. And bamboo pop is a cotton bamboo blend. I am using, oh God, what size are these? I think these are 3. Oh, where are my glasses? I think these are 3.5. A US size 6. And these are Knitter's Pride. It's their wooden set. I don't remember what they're called. And then my funky stitch stoppers say, women's rights are human rights. Can you tell what type of a mood I am in right now? So this probably will not be done by the next episode, but that is okay. I am on a good track with it. I will be probably ripping back those rows later on today after I podcast. And then the only other 2 things I'd like to share with you for today are my spinning. Now they're not, I don't consider these fully finished objects yet because they have not been wet blocked and set. But last time I shared that I had spun up, I had spun up 1 braid of Cory Cross that I had dyed up myself. And so this is approximately, I'd say maybe a heavy fingering to almost sport weight. So it's 4 ounces, and it's as of pre-blocking, it's 304 yards. It's, I guess I would call this color Grillo. Not really my favorite. Like I said, I spun this up because it didn't come out of the dye pot the way I had planned. I may or may not over dye this, who knows? But it should be fully wet set so that I could share it properly with you in the next episode. And then this one is my big honker. It is 8 ounces of a merino silk blend. I'd say this is probably going to plump up to maybe a DK weight because it's currently 412 yards. And this is the red and white that I had started back in February. This was 75% merino, 25% silk. It was not, the silk was not blended in very well, so that's what all the white bits that you see, that was the silk portion. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one, but this was one of my 12 cast-ons for 2026. So once I get this wet set, I can officially claim it as a finished object from my 12 of 2026. Oops. So it does have a nice drape to it. I believe I shared in my last podcast that it was not my most favorite spin. I did not really like spinning the way that this yarn was created. I'm not a good enough spinner to really be able to switch between merino and silk when different patches came up. So there are some, more underspun parts because of that. There's probably a few overspun parts because of that, because you're trying to make it a consistent single so that you could ply them nicely. But So not my favorite spin, not my most consistent yarn. Don't know what I will make with this. If I make anything, I may wind up giving it away to one of my friends if they like it. And the Cory Cross was actually a fairly consistent spin. So here you can see it in all its glory. It's got a little bit of twist in it still, but once I wet block it, that should come out, which means it's a fairly balanced yarn. There are hints of a light yellow, a bright yellow, a gray, almost like a purpley gray in here. Not my colors. I was hoping the gray would have come out a bit darker, but I guess I didn't put enough in. I may think of over dyeing this maybe with a bit of blue and see what kind of a green it would make. And did I mention that this one had approximately 304 yards in a 4-ounce spin? And then because I am trying to clear off all my bobbins to get ready for the Tour de Fleece, for those of you that do not know what Tour de Fleece is, it's run during the same time as the Tour de France and the Tour de Femme, which is the male and female bike races that are happening in France. And while the bikers are spinning on their wheels, us spinners are spinning on our fiber. And so there's no competition for this. You can join teams, various podcasters or various fiber dyers may have teams going. They may have challenges amongst their teams, but you do not have to do any of the challenges. You can just create challenges for yourself during this Tour de France, Tour de Fleece thing. You spin on the days that the bikers are spinning, and you can rest on the same days that the bikers rest. You don't have to, of course. This is more meant as a time for you to challenge yourself in your spinning, be that you want to spin for 20 minutes every day if you're a beginner to sort of get used to it. Maybe you want to spin long draw every day to get used to spinning long draw. Maybe you want to practice spinning from the fold. Maybe this is the year that you want to try spinning up all kinds of different fibers, or maybe you're just looking to spin down your fiber stash. It is whatever you want for. If you do just the Tour de France time period, it's about, I think, a 3-week time period. It starts July 4th. And then there's approximately 3 weeks of the Tour de France. There's, I think, 4 or 5 days break, and then the Tour de Femme starts for a week. And so in clearing off my bobbins, I realized I still had this spin on it from last year on 2 of my bobbins. This was part of the World of Wool Fiber Advent, and this was all sari silk. Not my favorite thing to spin when it's all clumpy, but I spun this up. I think it's probably going to plump up to maybe a DK worsted weight. So it was 50 grams, and I have approximately 80 yards of it. This will probably go into a weaving of some sort. Golden yellow is not really my wheelhouse. It makes my skin go very sallow. So this may go into some sort of a weaving, or it may go to somebody else who can use it. Who knows? So all of these just need to get wet set and thwacked. Basically what that means is they get soaked in, I usually soak mine in eucalyptus water, which adds just a touch of lanolin back into it. And then thwacking it just sort of helps to set the twist and spread it out a little bit more so that it's a little bit more even and consistent. Depending on the fiber, it could also fluff up the fiber. And then you hang it to dry, and you have a perfectly good skein of yarn to use on a project. And that, my friends, is all I have for you guys right now. So with that being said, I believe my next podcast will probably talk more about what my plans are moving forward for the Tour de Fleece. Um, I have purchased some fibers that I've shared. I'm looking to go through my stash and maybe spin up some of my older stash to spin down my stash, or my fiber collection, as some people like to call it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought my plans through for Tour de Fleece yet. Like I said, I have been busy closing out my media center for this school year, saying goodbye to colleagues that I'm going to miss dearly next year. The three of us ate lunch every day together when we were there, so I will miss our little lunch tete-a-tetes and story time, and see what the school year brings. But for now, I plan to relax, enjoy my summer, do a little bit more dyeing. I'm taking a level 2 dyeing class with Alana Wilcox. I've taken her level 1 class and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and she is offering her level 2 class, and so I'm taking that over the summer. I'm planning to sort of front load of as much of the dyeing as I can to take place during the summer, because the beginning of the school year can be just as hectic as the end of the school year. And oh, well, I'll share that with the Tour de Fleece plans next time. I was going to share something, but it's going to be a Tour de Fleece sort of thing, so I'll share that when I talk about Tour de Fleece. So on that note, I hope that you are all well. I hope that you were able to craft something wonderful while you were sitting here listening to me. Let me know in the comments what you were working on. If you are planning to spin for the Tour de Fleece, I would love to know what your plans are, where you're spinning from. I know that there are some groups out there that if you are not a spinner, you could knit for the Tour de Fleece, or crochet or weave, or whatever other fibery crafty rabbit hole you go down. Let me know in the comments below what you are looking forward to this summer. If you have any wonderful summer plans, I would love to live vicariously through all of your vacations for this summer. And I will see you soon with my plans for Tour de Fleece. Have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you're all doing well. I love y'all, and ciao, ciao. Oh God, no, that was horrible. In there, oh my God. Speak, Dorothy, speak.